Hey y'all, welcome. Hey Shauna. Hey, happy Sunday. And can you hear the music? I'm trying to set a vibe, a tone, a mood. Good morning, happy afternoon, right? What time is it? Can we talk for a minute? Drop all of your questions in the chat. Today we can talk about anything. We can talk about social networking. We can talk about dating. Girl, yes, I do lives. Not frequently, but I try and do it as much as I can. I try and go live on Sundays. I started going to church, like the good girl I am. So now I have to do them later. It used to be at like 11 a.m., but now I'm going. It's probably like 1 p.m. moving forward. All your questions, drop them in. But yeah, I started going to a church by my apartment. It's a Sunday afternoon. Yes, girl, this live just started. The cohort officially, the application officially closed on Friday. So I am hoping to start this in November. I'll do the selection process in the next couple weeks. But this cohort is also going to be extremely small, like less than 10 people. And I think like 200 people applied. So there's the people that will be more qualified for the advanced version of this cohort that will be coming out after this one. This is like the beta group of folks who are like gonna give feedback, help test it, all of that. Because I wanna make sure that it's right. I don't like to do anything unless it is tight and it's really comprehensive. It also will require a lot of effort. It's like taking a class. Like there's a workbook, there's homework, there's check-ins, there's accountability. It's intense. So it has to be girlies who have the capacity and who are also willing to give feedback and who I think are just a fit for this stage. So ideally this will be launching in November. You'll get more details shortly if you're selected. But if you aren't selected, please keep in mind that there will be another cohort right after that one. But this is like the beta cohort of people who are going to be testing and giving me feedback. Okay, let me scroll up. Fearless 711, are you single? 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 Yes, Fearless 711, I am single, ready to mingle. Let's see what else we got. Thanks, Citrus Lou. What questions do you all have on social networking, on dating, social capital, career, friendships, all of that? It's big sister advice time. Please call me big sister. I'm not that much older than y'all. Y'all don't have to be calling me auntie. Y'all don't have to be calling me OG. We all say that. Oh my God, we're not your elders. Please. Am I going to a dinner or a party tonight? No, I stay in the house. Do you see the rain outside? Do you see the rain outside? I be in the house all day, every day. Stop pretending and show them how crazy you are. Marvin, who are you? You don't know me, but you want to see how crazy I am? Okay, how do we sign up for the beta cohort? It's link in bio, but the application's closed, babes. But don't worry, there will be another cohort shortly after this. I'm selecting like 5% of the people that applied. Once again, it is really like a focus group more than anything. Where do you find places to go? Can you clarify 7-Eleven? I'm not quite sure. Fearless 7-Eleven? What do you mean by that? My newsletter launched. Gen Z is so disrespectful, right? Come on now. Places to go. I'm trying to find my place. Oh, the newsletter is launched. We launched last month. But if you signed up after the newsletter went out, then you will get October's, which I'm sending on Monday. So tomorrow. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi, Izzy. Hi, Just Ask Lace. Just Ask Lace. I love how you are so engaged. I really appreciate all of your comments. Let's see. My private school video. If you were a Black girl who went to private school, raise your hand. If you are traumatized by that said private school, keep your hand up. Black girls who go to prep school, it is traumatic. It is learning about race and consciousness, learning about dating, like your most formative years in prep school as a young Black girl. I went to a prep school in New England, specifically traumatic. How do you get invited to places when you don't know them in the first place? Can you clarify what kind of places you're trying to go to? If you're talking about galas, if you're talking about art events, if you're talking about whatever. Hey, Yans, the creator. The newsletter is launched, baby girl. The reason why you didn't get the newsletter is I send it out. I'm trying to send it out every first Monday of the month. And so if you signed up for the newsletter after that first Monday, then you'll get this Monday's newsletter. Any side hustle suggestions? Looking to make some extra income. So give me a little bit more insight into what exactly you're interested, like what your main interests are. My suggestions for side hustles are always things that you can scale, things that don't have high operating costs, and things that are in your zone of genius. So for me, for example, if I were to consult myself, things that can scale would be like an online course, something that you don't have to have multiple touch points with, something that you don't have to physically be at, something that will make you residual income without you having to go somewhere. You can do it from vacation, from the comfort of your own home, something that comes relatively easy for you, something that people ask advice for. So I always say consulting is the best side hustle. If you work in creator marketing, open a creator marketing advisory or something like that. Anything where you can scale and you don't have to be somewhere physically present and you can automate, that is the key to a good side hustle. Advice if you're feeling stagnant in life. I hate how every time you attempt to answer something, it switches up. Hold on, let me scroll back up. Okay, fun 25. Advice on if you're feeling stagnant in life. I want to move to a new city. I'm in my mid-20s. One, I would ask you to question, what are the saboteurs? Why are you feeling stagnant in life? Like, what is sabotaging your life right now that's making you feel stagnant? What beliefs or what experiences? Is it financial? Are you self-sabotaging? Are you in a career that's making you feel stagnant? I do think a change of environment and a change of pace, so moving to a new city can help and support that. But if you haven't done the work and you pick up and move to a city like New York, it ain't gonna end well, girl. It ain't gonna end well. So what you should do is figure out what your main saboteur is as to why you're feeling stagnant. Because if it's a you thing, in that you don't have the wherewithal, you don't have the motivation, you don't have the determination, the focus, all of that, moving to a new city is not gonna help that. So figure out what the saboteur is. I know the newsletter, babes, I promise it's coming on Monday. You missed the last one, but now you're signed up for the next one. I can't send the newsletters retroactively. What are the fundamentals of networking specifically in a new city? If you have just moved to a new city and you are trying to build your social capital in a new city, here's what I would recommend. First thing is your job is going to be an amazing place to start. Let me turn this off because I can't focus. Your job is an amazing place to start. I think a lot of people underestimate how much social capital your job can give you. So you should be having your job pay for attendance to events. Some of my friends who work at tech companies have gotten their members only club memberships subsidized by their jobs, because technically it's like a wellness, especially if they have a gym or like a co-working space, you can get it subsidized by your job. Your job should be helping you flip a bag every time. So I would say have them pay for members only clubs, have them pay for you to go to pre-professional conferences. You can always also get that subsidized under an educational reimbursement. There are usually employee resource groups that you can join where you can build your network there, volunteer opportunities through your job. Let your job do a lot of the networking, heavy lifting, and also paying for it that way. And then get some hobbies that you actually enjoy. You want to meet like-minded people, so get some hobbies that can be, I always say you need hobbies that make you smarter, hotter, richer, that put you on and that make you feel childlike and playful, so things that you enjoy. So choose one or two of those and get a hobby in that respective area. And then join a members only club, like I said, and then join a junior board. Join a board in your city. Look under anything that's under arts and culture. So that can be a museum, that can be a, like, Dance Theater of Harlem is really big here. School of American Ballet is really big here. That one, though, costs $1 million to join, but nonetheless. Apollo Theater is like $500 to join. Alvin Ailey. These are New York centric ones. The Frick, Lower East Side Girls Club. I was on the board there. Joining a junior board will also help you meet other like-minded people, and you get access to exclusive events. So when I was on the board, the junior board of the Apollo, and it was, once again, I think I paid $250 and then my employer matched it. So I think the cost was maybe $500, but they matched it for me. And we would have like young collectors nights at the Guggenheim where they would shut down the Guggenheim for us and the people who were on the board. And that board is massive. I think it's like 300 people on that board. We would then go to the Guggenheim and network and kiki, meet people there. We would get like exclusive access to the Apollo. So before large shows, all of us were able to like go backstage and meet some of the performers and have like a networking reception, and all of the donors were there. Junior boards are really like the unlock. I didn't know about junior boards until I moved to New York City. I wish someone told me about that. And the average age of a junior board, it's under 40. So I would say people in their late 20s, early 30s are on junior boards. The Junior League is also another really good one. Council of Urban Professionals is another really great organization to join. How long should you date before marriage? Oh, y'all trying to get into it. I don't know. I think it depends on your age. I think if you're in your 20s, you have a little bit more leeway, particularly earlier 20s. I think after 26, 27, let's say 28, that's the age I feel safe saying. Around 28, I don't think, according to my my shaman in this space, Anwar White, who I'm obsessed with, who I love, he recommends, like, if he hasn't proposed in 2 years, it's probably not gonna happen. And I stand by that. For the men who have infiltrated this live, let me know if you agree with that. Let me know if you agree, because I feel like a lot of these men know very quickly. And if he take it too long and he's playing on your line, my homegirls who are in really healthy relationships, who the man is obsessed with them, by month 6, they talk about marriage. By month 6, he's like, so what you feel about? He also starts saving. He also starts moving a little bit differently because he's taking you seriously. If you are getting to that year 4, year 5, and this is not across the board, obviously depends on your situation. Financial situations matter, your desire to get married and timeline and things that you want to do beforehand. But me personally, I wouldn't let it get to year 3 and he hasn't proposed. At my big age, as y'all like to remind me, at my big age, I would not do more than 2.5 years. I think it's a dub. I don't think it's gonna happen. The gentleman in this chat can let me know, but all of my marriage-minded men in my life, they're ready to do it by year 1. Hey, Chantel. Oh, y'all are hand raising about going to prep school. Black girls going to prep school. Trauma. We need a support group. Someone start a support group. It ain't it. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed the first newsletter. Ooh, a Catholic private school. My brother went to a Catholic private school. I went to Catholic school first, which was kind of like a Catholic prep school. A Catholic school. And then I went to a purely white prep school, independent school league, New England, like Phillips Exeter type of school. The trauma that you endure as a young Black girl in prep school. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Too beautiful. This is a CGI computer generated woman. Mood, you think I'm fake. I actually am obsessed with you passing the test because you think I'm fake, period. Yeah, high school is traumatizing, period. But particularly when you're surrounded by no one that looks like you. Did y'all learn about slavery in high school or middle school? And you were the only person in class and they were going around the class having you read Uncle Tom's Cabin? And everyone is looking at you when it's time to say the word. High school is traumatic, but going to a homogenous high school. Also, I went to high school when Obama was getting elected. And they used to have watch parties, like debate watch parties at my school. These kids were like 13. Insane. Literally, the principal of my high school had to, and then I wore braids. Principal of my high school had to intervene because me specifically was getting bullied so much. The other black girls had just become recluses because they were like, we can't even deal with this. We literally would go home and come back. That's the only thing. We didn't have any friends. I didn't talk to anybody. My junior and senior year, I did not speak. I only spoke in class, and that was the only time I spoke. That was it, because I was like, what are y'all about? The racism, the being ostracized, going to prom, this is the first time people are dating. There were some benefits. I'm going to do another video about not the benefits of going to prep school, what I learned from going to a really elite, expensive, very wealthy prep school. Like, everything is negotiable is one thing that I learned. If you're rich and you're part of the majority, everything is negotiable, baby. Everything is negotiable. You also learn how to not be deferential. They would talk back to their parents. They would talk back to teachers. They didn't like a grade they got. Knock, knock, knock on the teacher's door. They didn't take no. Like, if they got, another thing that I think they really did well that I learned a lot from, and I need to write this down, is they learned how to have relationships with authority figures in a way that I don't think young black people always are taught to do. I think there is an inherent fear and lack of safety that a lot of young black, especially girls, feel. And these young white kids would pop up and talk to the teacher and say, hey, I'm coming to after hours. Hey, you're having dinner at your home with 5 other students. I'm coming. I could never do that. I was so intimidated. I was so deferential. I was so afraid. And I just was not safe in a place like that, like psychologically safe. I was not trying to spend any extra time. And they were able to form relationships with adults in a way that is it's a skill to be 13, 14, 15 years old and be able to talk to an adult like a peer. And in prep school, they did that. So and also the academic rigor was amazing. Like, at age 11, I was reading the Odyssey, and I was living abroad in Spain by the time I was 13 because there was this exchange program. I won't take away from the academic rigor, but the psychological trauma, every black girl who went to a white prep school, get yourself into therapy immediately, because it is not okay. Any tips on how to start collecting art? Fun 25. Yes, I have some tips on collecting art. The first thing I would do, I actually have a book over here. It's called How to Collect Art. It has like red and 2 different hues of blue on it. That will get you into like just the basics of collecting art. If you are like really, really, really early in your art collecting journey, get you into like just the basics of collecting art. If you are like really, really, really early in your art collecting journey, what you want to go to exhibits, go to museums. You want to just like sort of immerse yourself into what you like, what you don't like. What sort of like, do you like contemporary art? Do you like neoclassical art? And just begin to observe some patterns of like what sort of art you like. Start writing that down. And then from there, join a young art collectors group. There's a couple cool ones in New York City. One is called ISE-DA, and they will have like education events with the actual artist, and the artist will come in and say like, here's a process of me collecting, or here's a process of me creating this piece, here's what this piece means. Or they'll do mini exhibits where you get to actually tour some of these places and spaces, or some of these exhibits. So I would say joining a young collectors group is really helpful. You can also get art at a discount or be introduced to new artists that haven't fully popped off yet. So that is also really cool. And there's just so many cool things that happen in the art space. Like, something that I didn't know is you can actually go in almost like with a group setting. So let's say you and 5 of your friends want to start collecting art. You can actually, like, a lot of more established art collectors do this, but them and their 5 friends will each put in like $10,000 or $1,000 or $500, whatever the budget is. And they'll start collecting art together, and they'll either keep it in like a storage area, or they'll rotate where the art piece sits. Like, one year it sits in my house, the next year it sits in my friend's house. but that's a way for it to accrue value, and then they'll sell it later and then split the cost. So you can actually go into art collecting with like a group of friends. But if you really, really want to start from like ground zero, start reading about art, start just visiting art, seeing what you like, and then joining a young art collective society, I think is really popular and a really easy way to just get involved into the art scene. Thank you. What's the best way to re-enter into the social scene after being away for a very long time? Girl, just pop out and show. Girls, just step on next. The only thing I would do is say be sickening so they remember who you are. But just go. I mean, I don't think there's any specific advice that I would have aside from just stepping on their necks and be sickening and reminding the folks who you are. That's all I would say. And then just curate carefully where you go. I think once again, junior boards and galas are the best places to start, or work conferences. Just moved back to the tri-states. Oh, welcome back to the tri-states. I mean, that's the best place to sort of build your social capital, in my opinion. But yeah, start joining junior boards, start going to some of the galas. If you're in the tri-state area, I love the Apollo, I love Alvin Ailey, I love the Frick, I love Lower East Side Girls Club. They also have really great events. So if you're kind of popping up, the Apollo also has Divas Who Dine. Studio Museum Gala has their spring luncheon. Those are really great places to just pop out for the first time. How do you find your zone of genius? Your zone of genius is almost like, think of like all of these concentric circles that almost overlap. So your zone of genius is going to be, and I think a lot of people confuse their zone of genius with their zone of competence. So you might be really good at something. That doesn't mean that it's your zone of genius. It should be something that lights you up, that gives you energy, that feels effortless for you. So like you can come on, and if you feel like you can go on live and talk to strangers for 3 hours straight and it's easy for you, maybe your zone of genius is something in broadcast journalism, let's say. Or maybe your zone of genius is being a content creator. But things that come easy, effortless, that you feel like you're in your flow state, that align your passion, and that also is in service of people, that is how you find your zone of genius. How to build a... Once again, it started from the bottom. Let me see if I can scroll back up. Can we talk? Chat. I'm so sorry. Bear with me. So many comments, babe. Okay, let's see. Ooh, y'all been chatting. Okay. Hi, Crystal Vega. Oh, I think I'm not even at the top. Okay, y'all. Okay, here we go. How do you build a professional network, social community from scratch? Professional network and social community are a little bit different. Depends on what your intention is with each of them. For your professional community, you can build that, I guess, through a myriad of ways. Number one, work. Do not underestimate the power of your career. I always say this. A lot of people who get put on socially, you can also, like, work should do a lot of the legwork for you. So starting your professional network is you should have a board of directors, mentors, and sponsors inside of your organization. And I understand and recognize not every organization is the same. I'm mostly talking about some of those larger organizations, agencies, startups, tech companies that a lot of folks work at. Build your professional network there. You need a board of directors, you need mentors and sponsors all within that organization. They can also help introduce you to other people. So one thing that I would do when I would have one-on-ones with my mentors is I would always end the session with them asking, is there anyone else you want me to meet? Is there anyone else you think I should be introduced to? And that is a great way to expand your network almost unintentionally. Another way, a kind of more sneaky way, let's say you're a completely remote person, is to become a LinkedIn thought leader. The same way that people build their social capital and build their social network by being an influencer on TikTok or Instagram, if you are a thought leader on LinkedIn, that is going to expand your network. You'll be surprised at the invitations you get. You'll be surprised at the people that reach out to you. So if you have a zone of genius, or you believe yourself to be an expert in, or even if you just have thoughts on something, start a newsletter or start posting about something on LinkedIn. And then going to conferences. You want to also have an in-person touch point as well. So Afrotech, Ad Color, CES, CultureCon, National Society of Black Engineers, NABJ, all of these pre-professional conferences, start attending those, and that's a really great way to build your network. From a social perspective, the same advice I give every time. Whether it's in your job, employee resource groups, also junior boards, members only clubs, hobbies that you really enjoy and like, the junior league. You can join the Frick, Alvin Ailey, the Apollo, Council of Urban Professionals. And then also, what a lot of people underestimate is vacation. If you go to Martha's Vineyard, Martha's Vineyard, difficult to go to, difficult to get to, expensive, but if you're there, that's a really great way to build your social community because they're hosting activations and events. They're constantly hosting activations, events, panels. You will be able to meet a ton of people in these sort of smaller, they're cost prohibitive, more exclusive, but it's a really great way to expand your social network. Hi, watch me from Kenya. Hey girl, we international. Okay. Dejvanya says, I'm 26 and moved to DC. I'm looking to get into a new industry and move into a senior position. Girl, I think we might need a little bit more context into that. But the first thing I would say is get a mentor in that position who can help sort of guide you and give you that feedback. Get very clear. If I were you, I would print out the LinkedIns of 3 people who are in that position and in that role. And I would look at the previous experiences that they've had. If they had to go to business school or get an additional degree, then you might have to do that. Look at any synergies or any themes that you see and really get clear on what it takes to get into that senior level position. And then go ahead and start emulating that is my initial piece of advice without having a ton more context. Don't forget to like the live, y'all. And if you want access to my newsletter, click the link in bio. No, the last newsletter that you received is September 9th. You don't have to sign up every month. Once you're in the system, once you're in my back end, you get it. That's a hoot. You get it every month. You'll get it every month. So now that I have your email, you'll have access to it. Public schools, New York City public schools can get crazy. I'm very curious about a New York City public school experience because I understand high school generally can be traumatic. I just think at least you saw somebody who looked like you every now and again. Child. Okay. I'm curious, what are some places that you meet important people? Child, why is the lighting like this? I would say vacationing in exclusive places, going to conferences and events that only important people go to. So that would be Davos, that would be Cannes, that would be CES, places that are cost prohibitive, difficult to get into, also affiliation. So a lot of these people are also a part of secret societies or difficult to get into societies. If you're part of that or you go to one of those conferences, that's another really great way to meet important people. And then at work, if you work at an important place, there's gonna be important people there. I'm good at helping, okay. Ooh. How do you effectively manage up without ruffling feathers? Girl, that's the question of the day, ain't it? I need to think about that one because I struggle with managing up because they're in a position of power. It requires so much trust, and you have to know your senior leader if they're even open to being managed. Sometimes playing the game is being quiet. Sometimes, I have worked with senior leaders where it doesn't work for you to manage them upwards. It won't work. They don't have the ego control. They don't have the self-awareness for you to manage up. What I would say is start to build a board of directors that are at your manager's level or more senior that can help advance work without you needing your manager. If your manager is a roadblock, find other people that you can trust and that you can go to who can sort of help support you, because to be honest with you, it's rare to be in a situation where you can comfortably manage up. I have to be honest with you. It's very, very difficult if you're trying to give your manager feedback, unless your feedback is coming from a place of hey, this will help us do our job better, faster, more efficiently. But if your feedback is, hey, I don't like the way that you engage with me, or hey, I don't think you're doing your job very well, sometimes it's better to be more strategic than it is to be upfront. And I think being strategic means finding projects that you can work on that engage other your board of directors, or finding people who can help, like finding your skip level, so the person above your manager, and going to them and having them engage and sort of mentor you and shepherd you. Managing up is tricky. I know we hear a lot about that, but I'm not always a fan of managing up because sometimes it bites you. Advice on maintaining consistency. Read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. He talks a lot about how to build systems instead of goals. So let's say you want to lose 30 pounds. I'm making this up. If you want to lose 30 pounds, you will have a goal of losing 30 pounds, and you'll do everything very short-sighted. You might work out twice a day. You might stop eating carbs. You might go on a cleanse. You might not eat sugar for 3 weeks straight. But maintaining consistency requires an identity shift, and it also requires you to create systems and accountability that is more than just a quick fix goal. So James Clear in Atomic Habits talks a lot about that, where if you want to lose 30 pounds, change your goal from I want to lose 30 pounds to I want to be a person who eats healthy and works out every day. The kind of person that Jody is moving forward, or Feli is moving forward, is someone who is committed to working out. Then you want to create systems. So you want to create systems like meal prepping every Sunday. You want to create a system like leaving your clothes out to work out every day. And then you also want to make it fun and enjoyable. Oftentimes when we're doing a lot of stuff, it's torture. So then we end up like falling off after time because we're like, oh, I'm in this workout class I can't stand it. I'm eating this food I hate. Start doing a walking club with your homegirls instead. Or maybe find a dance workout that you love. Make it enjoyable so that you're able to build consistency. Thanks. Happy Sunday, ladies. Izzy, I already talked about Zone of Genius. Hopefully you caught it. Do you think medical jobs help with paying for social clubs? I actually have no concepts. I'm sorry, all of my medical folks. Please drop it in the chat. Yes, people do pay to join junior boards. Also, Crystal has an amazing, Crystal, anytime someone asks me about a members club, I have plugged Fortune and Forks so many times. Crystal has an amazing women's membership club. Crystal, drop it in the chat, the link called Fortune and Forks. It's really great to help, especially young women of color. I find a lot of them are in media, entertainment space, sports. It's a really amazing place to network, meet people. They have events, like if you're going to Art Basel, they'll have meetups. So Fortune and Forks. Do you think British girls move to New York thrive? Oh, do you think British girls that move to New York thrive here? I'm considering moving. Quali. You know I got quite a good British accent, don't I? Yeah, you know, it's the sticky ones too, but you know, I think the Brits, speaking as a British girl myself, I think we actually do quite well here. Yeah. Yeah, girl, they gonna eat the accent up. As long as you got a job, as long as you got some coin, you'll be fine. How did you find these boards in New York City? Living here, knowing everybody. I've lived here for a decade, so I know everybody and everything. So that's how a lot of my friends were in them. A lot of my mentors have been in them. A lot of my peers have been in them. There's construction going on outside. Hopefully it's not too loud, but it is annoying me. Encourage more viewers to share. Yes, share it, like the live, do whatever you got to do. Oh, Life of Hakeem. Junior boards are great. I run the Brooklyn Museum Junior one. Hakeem, let me hit you up. I'm trying to join. Actually, I can't have anything else on my plate, but go follow Life of Hakeem. Be up in his DMs. He runs it. Oh, you're a junior league girly. Oh, nice. I have a couple friends who are in the junior league, and they really enjoy it as well. Can you share to make a winning personal brand? Y'all got me working on this live today. Winning personal brand. Number one is consistency. So I always say do a diagnostic of ask your friends to describe you, ask your peers to describe you, ask someone at work to describe you, ask your family to describe you. It should all be consistent. And then how you show up should also be consistent. So how you show up online, in person, what you do for work, what you do in your spare time, what your hobbies are, even how you dress. Let's say you are a champion of climate change, but you are always in furs and leathers and all of that. That is not a consistent personal brand. So you want to make sure that you have a personal brand that is consistent. You want to also make sure that people know about your brand. So is a brand if it's in a silo? No. So you need to share on social media tent poles of your brand. You need to go into spaces that align with your brand. You need to engage in extracurriculars that align with your brand. That is a way to create a winning brand. And then also look at people's personal brand who you really emulate. There are some people, like for me, I really enjoy Felicia Butterfield's personal brand. She's someone who I used to work with at Google, and I really loved her personal brand. And something about her personal brand is very authentic, very cool, very real, very fun, but also highly successful. So that's what I emulated. Some girlies emulate the more Upper East Side, high society ladies, and that's a personal brand for some folks. But find almost like doppelgangers or avatars of brands that you really like, or people whose brands you really like, and begin to emulate them. Jody, when you go to galas but don't like the food, what do? Just move it around on your plate, girl. Move from this to here. Cut it up real small. If you cut up the food, they won't know you don't like it. And girl, nobody really eats at these anyways. Always eat before you go to a gala. No one is really like the whole time. Don't know how old you are, but I'm approaching 30 and I'm scared. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Girl, it's just getting good. 30 is like the best. Life honestly opens up once you turn 30 because you have more money. You're probably gonna look even better at 30 than you did at 20. I don't get this whole like you expire at 30. I feel like I got finer and finer and finer. Once 29 hit, took off. That's really when I got into my bag. My career took off. I looked better. I felt better. You have more money to do what you want. 30 is the best time of your life. And you also just care less. You get this sense of confidence in self by having so many more lived experiences, by having so many more historical data points and artifacts on your life. You just begin to, feel yourself at 30. Get excited. Transform that scared into excitement because life is about to get real, real good for you. Real, real good. Hey, Jody, my girl, where should I be looking in New York City for my man? Not in New York City, baby. That's where I would tell you. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I really want to give you some helpful advice. I don't know where to find one either, girl. We got some men who have infiltrated this live. Why don't y'all let us know where we can find good, God-fearing, successful, ambitious Black men? What I will say, I do have advice because I got advice on everything. I'll tell you where to look, and I'll also tell you how to look because I think the issue is sometimes how we look for I'll tell you where to look, and I'll also tell you how to look because I think the issue is sometimes how we look for partners versus where we look for partners. I would encourage you to do a core needs diagnostic. You need to figure out what your core needs are. And then you need to be ruthless about only engaging with people who meet those core needs. And you also need to choose the experience over the person. I did a TikTok video on this, but I have a couple homegirls who are in very happy relationships. Actually, all of my friends who are in very happy relationships, who are married, who are mothers, who are just thriving, none of their partners are their type. But what they did focus on is how this person made them feel and what sort of experience they're getting from this person. And if you focus on your core needs, what experience they're providing for you, as in it's not traumatic, you're not anxious, you're not feeling uncertain. My best friend, right before she walked down the aisle, I was like, girl, how are you feeling? She was like, girl, I'm good, easy, excited to marry my best friend, that's it. If you have that experience and this person is also obviously ambitious and kind and all of that, choose that person. I think a lot of young women have been sold a farce about what's actually important in relationships. And a lot of the content on this app is about, you need to, with money, he better be coming with this, and he better, if he don't have a bust down AP, he ain't that. What I really want to tell you, come close, y'all listening? What I really want to tell y'all is I have had friends and mentors who have went for that, and it ain't it. Because you don't know when that's. I have had mentors whose partners were managing directors at some of the biggest banks, 2008 happened. Banks collapsed. All of their money gone in an instant. Fired from their job. Layoffs are happening. You want to look for character, not personality. You want to look for people who have demonstrated quality characteristics, who are ambitious. Look for a man who has a proven track record of being able to follow up with what he says, who knows the vision that he wants for his life, who's thinking legacy minded, who has the humility to be submissive to God. That's what you really need to be looking for. I feel like a lot of us are like, if he ain't tall and he ain't rich, he ain't my man. And I'm also talking to myself, but I think a lot of women need to look differently. I think a lot of us need to center ourselves more in dating and think a lot more about what makes me happy, what lights me up. Some of my core needs are feeling cherished, feeling heard, feeling seen, someone who respects my boundaries. That's what you need to focus on. And then everything else, allow it to come. You can grow in even if he's not your type initially. But also have a set of non-negotiables. I'm also not saying like date any old dude, but date someone who makes you feel safe and seen and heard in whatever your core needs are. And be a little bit more flexible on the package. And then where, girl at work, well, depends how big. I used to work at Google. So Google was like 6,000 people in the New York City office. A lot of people I knew met their partners at work. Hobbies. So he's enjoying the sort of things that you enjoy. Church. I think you should look for him in value-oriented spaces. That's good. I just made that up off the top of my dome. Canvassing for Kamala Harris. You could meet him there. Church, work, if you are part of a book club, if you are part of a running club and you enjoy running, if you enjoy hiking, look for someone who has value orientation similar to you, not necessarily members. And then of course you can meet people at members only clubs. You can meet people at conferences is actually a really great place. Like Afrotech, I think would be a good place to potentially meet a partner. And it doesn't matter if he lives in New York City, as long as he can travel to you. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and it was not an all-girl school thing. I mean, honestly, it might have been better if it was an all-girl school. Some of those white boys, those are the ones who really were torturing us. Hey, big sis. Hi, Audie. To ensure success, someone coming from nothing, what do you recommend? Someone coming from nothing. That's an interesting question to ensure success. One, I want to be clear on how you are defining success. Are we talking about like career success, financial success? All success starts from a place of zone of genius. There's also a test you can take called Strengths Finders, which is a really good test on helping you capitalize on your strengths. Oftentimes we hear, oh my God, we need to be good at all of these things. No, you need to be good at what you're good at naturally and then lean all the way into that. Also think about how you can be in service of people. If your goal of being successful is wealth or fame, it's gonna flop, in my opinion. You need to think about how can I be of greatest service to people and how can I make the largest impact and use my gifts and my skills and my talents, and that will ensure success, and that also you don't feel empty or hollow at the end of your success. I never want to see those people again. Girl, tell me about it. More content around stepping on necks. Okay, if you have any specific questions around how to step on a neck, let me know. What are the green flags you look... Fearless 7-Eleven, not you all up in the live. Green flags you look for in a man. I would say someone who meets my specific core needs. Someone who has a proven track record of success. I think a lot of people are, once again, like, he need to have money, he need to do this, he needs to do that. Sure, but does he have a proven track record of success? Let's say you meet someone while he's in school. He might not have money to take you out if he's in business school. Or he's an entrepreneur and like in this season of his life he's building. Does that mean that you shouldn't date him? No. If he has a proven track record of being able to be successful in the past or having the ambition to figure it out and sort of like make stuff happen in his life, that's a man that you want to date. If you haven't, I personally want a man who has a humility to submit to God and who has mentors who can also help him on his journey. I don't like independent, I can do it all by myself sort of men, because he needs to be able to take advice and wise counsel from other people. So I want to see who the men are in his life. I want him, I don't really care about his relationship with family. That might be controversial, but everyone has complicated relationships with their family. So yes, in an ideal world, he should be close to his mom and his sister and blah, blah, blah. That's definitely a plus, but stuff happens. Someone who's intellectually curious, who always wants to learn more, who doesn't believe themselves to be the expert, and a man who is interested in my inner world, a man who cares about how I'm existing and showing up in a space, and who cares deeply about how I see the world, how I'm feeling, what my ambitions are. Sometimes with very successful men, a lot of you women have to be careful, you end up becoming the supporting character in his show. That's what they're not telling you, girls. That's what they're not telling you, girls. You want to be a millionaire, you want to date an athlete, they're used to being the star. So you will end up being an admin for them for the rest of your life. You want someone who's excited about your wins, who's excited about your inner world. Did your parents know? I don't know exactly what we're talking about. Prep school, maybe? I don't know. Were you friends with other black girls? I had maybe there was 4 of us. And I don't think 2 of them liked me very much. One was kind of infiltrated in the other side. And then one girl I was very, very close to. And then we stopped being, it's like typical 13-year-old girl stuff where like you stop being friends with one and now you're friends with none. So that's the reality. So no. Whenever there's a racism topic, they want to pick you. Jody, you read about slavery to the class. I'm like, why I gotta be the one? You went to Exeter. Oh yeah, girl, we used to play y'all in lacrosse and field hockey. Trauma. That's why I understand institutions like Jack and Jill. I really do. I know some people say it's elitist. Some people, I wasn't in it, so I have no skin in the game in terms of being able to talk about it from a intimate standpoint. But Jack and Jill probably would have offered me a lot of comfort when I was the only black girl in school. At least I would have had an opportunity to meet other young black girls. That would have really saved me. So I do get the lure of Jack and Jill. What would you suggest or what would you do for your future daughter? That's a great question, Ruby Sparkles. You know what? Prep school was so insightful. It taught me how to think. It taught me how to, I think in some schools, they are so focused on you passing a test. Like, you got to pass a test to get to 8th grade. You got to pass a test to get to 9th grade. My academy was not like that. It was, how smart can we make you? How much of a critical thinker can we make you? How can we make you dissect and analyze? Like, you had to do a study abroad. I went to Spain and I lived with like a Spanish host family when I was like 15 years old. We had to read the Odyssey and like do all of these. Really, we were in theater and dance class, and like it was such a, like I was playing field hockey. I was on the Charles River doing crew. That life experience was so rich. I would have balanced it out more with other opportunities to explore where I wasn't the only one. So I would maybe still send my child to prep school. I also think I went to prep school in the suburbs of Massachusetts. So maybe the location could also help. I think some of my friends who went to prep school outside of New England and or went to prep school that was closer to a major city, they were engaging with people who didn't only, like I was not the first, for some people I was the first black person that they had ever had longer than a 5-minute conversation with. So if you're going to a school in a major city, you're at least like, they might have black friends, or they might have had, their parents might have grown up with black people, or at least had intimate relationships with black people beforehand. So I would say choosing the prep school and the diversity of that prep school more. And then also like a program like a Jack and Jill, or like some other organizations that can really help offset some of the trauma that exists going to an all-white prep school. I'm West Indian, I can't talk on Jim Crow like that. Child, that's true. You should try talking back. I had this experience as a black girl. Everything is negotiable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Building relationships, yes, with authority figures. They were up in them teachers' houses like, hey girl, what's up? And I'm like, I do not feel comfortable with that. And I think a lot of immigrants and children of immigrants struggle with, if we look at, like, I had looked at this research where a lot of the most senior level leaders, a lot of them are, particularly from Asian cultures, this is like a known statistic, even though they might be really high producers at the more junior levels, in leadership positions they are missing from like executive leadership positions. And oftentimes it is because they grew up in a very deferential culture. I think a lot of immigrants have that experience. So it is doing us a disservice. Like, we're really good at producing, but we're not always good at being executive or leadership figures because we have been taught to be so deferential. The way the cops would switch up when they found my uniform. I know, it's so crazy to it. It's so traumatic. Did you have teachers who liked and cared about you? Marginally, barely. They didn't care. Not really. Maybe one or two, but none really off the top of the dome that I can think of. I remember when I got into my college, I got into Northwestern, which is a school in Chicago. I told the guidance counselor and he was like, no, you didn't. And I was like, yes, I did. And he was like, your mom needs to fax over your acceptance letter right now. And I'm like, what? I just told you I got it. And he was like, no, we don't believe you. It was crazy. And also I did well in school. Like, there was no reason, but they just, it was riddled in racism. Go to an elite HBCU. I actually didn't know about HBCU. This sounds so naive, but I was the only person in my family born in the US. So, and then I also went to this very white homogenous prep school. And then I also lived in Massachusetts, in the suburbs. We didn't know about HBCUs growing up. And I know you're like, how is that possible? This was also in the 90s, y'all, early 2000s. We didn't have the internet. We did have the internet. I'm not that old. But with like how social media, and you can just go on TikTok and see girlies at Spelman thriving and all of that. Information was siloed. Unless you personally knew someone who went to an HBCU, my family didn't. We didn't know about HBCUs. So I wish I did know. I would be a Spelman girly. Actually, everything happens for a reason. I appreciate going to Northwestern, but had I known. Any tips on public speaking? Yes. Join Toastmasters. Practice public speaking in low stakes environment, like with your friends, with your peers. Reading, I say this every time because I get the same question. Reading, not audiobooks. Reading, not audiobooks. Audiobooks are not real reading. You're listening to a podcast. Actually reading helps with sentence structure and elocution. It helps you understand how like the English language is formatted and phrased. So you want to read books, do not listen to them on audiobook. Also, I love listening to really prolific public speakers. Fawn Weaver, Melody Hobson, who else? Brene Brown. Listen to them, how they speak, their pace, their cadence, how they engage, all of that. That will help you also become a better public speaker. And something that I had to do when I was in college, my professor would make me get up in the middle of the class and debate someone else at random on a random current event. And so that also taught you how to debate, how to public speak. So maybe with you and some of your friends, like you'll have a friend pick a topic and say like, I don't know, Kamala or Trump. And honestly, wherever, and the real tea is being able to argue a side that you don't agree with, and then debate it and have your friends score and keep marks and score and write notes for you. And then that could be a fun way to learn how to debate and public speak. Thanks, Lady Eloise. Oh, Life Hikes. They offer fun classes on public speaking. Oh, that's really good to know. I don't remember. The Atomic Habits, maybe by James Clear. I think that's the book. With art. Oh, yeah. MoMA. Is this going to be on YouTube? You know it's going to be on YouTube, girl. Child, 99 new messages. Oh, you joined Guggenheim YCC for this purpose. Hi, Griselle. Tips on how to improve your social skills, speaking to people on a day-to-day basis. Practice. Small talk is weird. Confidence and practice is the only way that you can get better. It is, and I would also say goal it. If you're an introvert or if you're like not really great at public speaking, be like, okay, today in class, I'm aiming to speak twice. Or I'm aiming to talk to someone for at least 1 minute straight, or like have a dialogue with someone for at least 1 minute straight. Just goal it so it doesn't feel as uncomfortable, but practice, honestly. Do you think if your mom had a conversation with you about Black X and Black girl math, can you rephrase that, Magnificent Bella? I don't quite get it. Fail forward, just start talking to people. Yes, you'll get better at it. Spelman women are everything. I know, I love my little Spelman girls. I'll never see these people again. True, practice. I have the exact same advice, Mia. All I would do is just practice in low stakes environments. Practice like the barista who's giving you coffee. Practice someone that you're passing by on the street. If you're going shopping, talk to someone about, oh, how do you like this? There's also a few, like, people are narcissistic. Ask them about themselves, they'll open up. And that's all you really have to do. I also recommend checking out art galleries. Heath Gallery, oh, Young Artist Night, I love. Also, a lot of artists will host events at their studios, and you'll be able to like learn more about the art there, museums, trending, personal collection. Can you build a relationship with a brand that does not have a physical store, like Gaultier? Probably, I actually don't know anything about that, but through a shopper. Like, if they're able to consistently pull from a brand, you are probably working with a liaison who can help pull from that brand for you. Kind of watch are you wearing? Cartier tank. Y'all, I just scrolled all the way to the bottom. Okay, let's see. How do you start a conversation? I become so awkward. You want to talk to people about themselves, because people are narcissistic, like I said. Oh, where'd you get that watch from? I love it. Oh, where did you get that outfit? What did you think about blah, blah, blah? Oh my God, I love this. If you compliment someone, it opens up. Or you can also ask someone for help. Like, oh, can you help me? I can't decide. Which one do you think is better? What I say is it's awkward if you say it's awkward. Talk to everybody. Can you list all these tips? They will be live on my live. I feel like my TikTok has all of these tips. Any advice for someone who didn't finish undergrad? What kind of advice are you looking for? Because I don't think there's a problem with not finishing undergrad. Tips on starting off in beauty treatments or injectables. Go to a dermatologist that you trust. Board certified dermatologist. Go to someone who specifies in the face. So if you're looking for under eye filler, you want to go to an ocular plastic surgeon, whatever. Someone who specializes in like the eye area. And start off small changes over time, not the biggest difference. And also, I think we're seeing a trend in fillers and a lot of injectables being sort of phased out. I think a lot of people are doing PRP, exomes, who are doing like more natural and more subtle treatments. I don't think a lot of people will be getting filler. I think Botox will always be around, but I don't think people are going to be getting filler in the same way. So start off as natural as possible. So that can be radiofrequency microneedling. That can be PRP, exomes. That can be clear and brilliant. Things that are small and that will still net a difference and build from there. But I think we're kind of over the trend and era of people doing like intense filler beauty treatments. Debate team was one of the best life preparations, period. Debate team was rocking my world. So what are your views on the career scene in the Caribbean, really creating your best image? Can you rephrase that question? I don't quite understand it. Thanks, Nisi. Love you too. Ursula Stevens. Yes. Ursula Stevens, Walk Through Fire by Sheila. What is her name? Sheila Johnson, co-founder of BET. Also a very good memoir. Ooh, those Black women who are CEOs. Would you say the world of DEI found you, or was it part of the initial vision? Definitely found me. When I was coming up in undergrad and all of that, there was no DEI career, there was no DEI course, but I started off working at a nonprofit. I've always been passionate about helping people of color, women of color. Growing up, I wanted to start a school for young Black women, probably because of my own life experiences. So I would definitely say DEI found me. I think it's becoming more popular as a career now, of course, but I did not set out to do DEI. I didn't even know it was a thing. Just saw Fawn Weaver at Cis Summit. Definitely agree. She can tell a story. That girl is good. That lady is a billionaire. Oh, I'm obsessed with her. She is just so brilliant and talented. And her life story, I was listening to a podcast with How I Built This, one of my favorite podcasts with Guy Raz. She was on it a couple of years ago, and she talks about her life story and how she left home when she was 15, and her parents were over it, and yeah, it was great. Also, first gen, didn't know about HBCUs either. Thank you. I'm not insane, because I think some people think it's insane that I have not heard of an HBCU. I did not know an HBCU. I think when you have a Black kid in a predominantly white school, they have to find Black culture. If the Black culture exists, yes. In the school, or you have to find it out of it. Oh, our upbringing is the same. I just ran away to DC instead. Hi. You can also read while listening to the audio. Oh, interesting. I've never tried that before. I don't know if it's as effective, but potentially. Yes. Will this be on YouTube? Yes. Unfortunately, it feels I need to guide and coach him. Sorry. 12 years of predominantly white private schools, but I was raised in DC. Yes, that will help. I was raised in the suburbs of Massachusetts. Oh, you want to go to Northwestern for your MBA? So Kellogg, amazing school. Particularly, I think Kellogg is really strong at branding and marketing. If you want to pivot into the branding, marketing, salesy side, Kellogg is where you need to go. Definitely better than Booth, in my opinion. As someone who graduated from Spelman, I also didn't know about them until I decided to transfer, period. I found out through Beyonce Homecoming. Yes, dissuaded me. Yeah, I do think my career counselor was like, do you want to go to a historically black college? I had no idea what he was talking about. I honestly thought he was being problematic. So I was like, why would you offer an HBCU to me? Had I known, know better, do better. Is it possible to not be on social media entering to these more exclusive datings? Is it possible not to be on social media when entering into more exclusive social circles? Yeah, a lot of the girls are not on social media. Of course. I mean, discretion is paramount. Discretion is a currency. I do think it is helpful, particularly if you're younger and in this generation, to be on social media. I think it will broadcast your brand better. I think if you're going to private dinners at Balmain and private shopping at Chanel and you're volunteering with this philanthropic organization and you're on the board and you're looking sickening, I think it will expedite, but you don't have to be. What is a test you meant to find out your strengths? Strengths finders. The older you get, do you get more fixated on finding the one forever or finding the one perfect for you now? Oh, that's a good question, Quali. Do y'all know Dr. Cheyenne Bryant? Because that lady is good. I watched her interview with Cam Newton, and she made a very profound point that I love. She said, a lot of women, when they're young, she said 35. She said young 35, not me, but I agree, 35 is young. Are focused on like, oh, can this man fly me to Paris? Can this man buy me a Birkin bag? Can this man, blah, blah. And you're responding from a place of trauma as your 35-year-old self. And you're looking for someone who can validate you. I have a very hot take. I was debating making a TikTok on this, but I don't know if the streets is ready for this. I've been a little more spicy lately and I can't handle it anymore. But I think oftentimes a lot of girls are choosing their partners from a place of low self-esteem, and a lot of the women who prioritize dating wealthy men have extremely low self-esteem. If someone is like, you gotta be rich, you gotta be rich, you gotta be rich, you don't like yourself. And the reason I say that is, and this is a hot take, you believe you get validation by being the woman that a rich man chose versus anything else. If that is your only criteria to dating someone, is if he flies, pays, and doesn't, knock you upside the head or whatever, that's your man, you don't have high self-esteem. My opinion. And it's a humble one at that. I could be wrong. And please rest assured, I'm not saying people need to partner with people who don't make as much as them or not in the same socioeconomic status, because I think there is a detriment to not partnering with someone who's in your same socioeconomic status. I do think your partner should make at least 80% of what you make, if not more. And I also think, I have other thoughts on that, but I do think he should be equally yoked, if not more successful than you. But I do think that if you're like, he gotta be rich, he gotta be rich, he gotta be this, he gotta be, or he gotta be fine, he gotta be 6 feet, he gotta, you are getting your validation from that man choosing you versus you choosing him from a place of wholeness and self-esteem. It gives you a boost of self-confidence to know that a rich man chose you, or to get that Birkin bag in the mail. That is what you're really centering on. And so what Dr. Cheyenne Bryant said was, we choose from the trauma and from the lack of self-confidence at 35, but we are not choosing for the person who is going to be there with us at 50. And as someone who has had mentors, peers, friends who have dated people for what the boost is for them in this moment, he's fine, he's rich, and then their parent dies, they gain weight because they're pregnant, it's a whole different relationship. So always choose for longevity. Here we go. Always choose for longevity. Always choose for the person who's going to be there with you when your parent passes away, when you have that kid, and you need someone to change the diapers with you at 3 a.m., when you lose your job, when you're becoming an entrepreneur and you need someone who's gonna wake up and be like, go baby, you got this. I'm gonna be the first person in line to buy your new line of waist trainers. You need that person. And oftentimes we are so hyper fixated on like the rich man, fine man, that we let everything else go out the window. And oftentimes we are so hyper fixated on like the rich man, fine man, that we let everything else go out the window. And life gets hard very quickly. So always use for someone. Oh my God, I added you in here. What did I do? How did I do this? Y'all, how did I let you in here? How do I get you out of here? Hi, Trippy. I don't even know who you are.
Trying to battle?
Huh?
Trying to battle?
Y'all, how do I get this man? Trippy, I appreciate you, but how do I get you out of this one? How did I accept you in here? Sorry, y'all. But I appreciate you being here in here, but I didn't mean to accept you. But you know, I love the men in here. I appreciate y'all cheering me on. Let me scroll up because I lost my train of thought. Hold on. Scroll. Child, I lost. Whew, okay, I don't even know where I'm at right now. Trippy, you got me discombobulated. I don't even know where I'm at anymore. Okay, let's see. Do you know of any international boards? I lived in Belgium, but not much here. Ooh, girl, I'm sorry about that. Not sorry about you living in Belgium. I'm sorry that I actually really don't know international boards. I would say start going to international conferences though. Davos is in your neck of the woods in January, I think. I would be out there. Money is important. Is he coachable? Does his career path, exactly. Y'all be looking for the right now. You need to see where he's going to be in the next 10 years. Tips to build a relationship with a brand that only has an online presence. Oh, I think I already answered that. Tips on getting a job at Google, a referral. Find someone who works there. I think like 50% of the jobs that people get from Google are based off of a referral. Anwar's in the live. You know Anwar is my boo. What are your... My mama calling me. Views on the career. Oh, I already answered that. Also within friend groups, like-minded, value-focused individuals usually are interconnected. Yes, find friends who are good friends to you, who you connect on values, not because they look good in photos. Let me not do too much though. Some of y'all are choosing friends because y'all get attention when you go out, or y'all look good in pictures together. That ain't it. Because as someone who has had a parent pass away, those friends are not going to hold you down during that time. I actually didn't have any friends like that in the first place, but I can't imagine navigating that without the people who were really, really my people. Anwar White is in the live. Well, I don't know when that was, child, because I'm lost. Hi, Jody. How do you rebrand from someone leaving corporate and transitioning into entrepreneurship? Congratulations. Drop the organization that you, or the company that you started. We would love to support it. Can you be a little bit more specific on the rebrand? Like what sort of rebrand are you trying to do? And like, what's your intention? And why are you rebranding, and what's the intention behind it? Oh, thank you, Naima. Or yes, Naima. What to tell a guy if they... Y'all need to go to Anwar White. He is really the dating coach. I am simply just a disciple and a student of his. What if you find a guy with all the good quality characteristics, but they only make 40K? That's hard, baby girl. I'm so sorry. Well, to be fair, where do you live? To be fair, how much money do you make? If it's 80% of what you make, I think that might be fair. I am not ever gonna be a proponent. I don't know the scale. I don't know where you live at. 40K is tough though. 40K I don't think is a lot of money in most cities. So I don't even know. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that one. But what I will say is, if he has, look at the vision for his life. If he's an entrepreneur and making 40K and that's like his first year of sales, pretty good, not bad. But if it's like, this is 40K and this is all I'm gonna be making for the remainder of my life, and I'm completely comfortable and confident with what I'm making, that's a different story. I would also I think it's difficult because I do think every woman should be with a self-actualized man. And if he is not already on the path or at the destination when you meet him, I personally probably wouldn't, if based off of my salary and what my vision for my life is. But I believe in dating self-actualized people. But if he's not content with a 40K and he's like, baby girl, I'm making 40K because I'm a resident, or I'm making 40K because I'm an entrepreneur, but I have a proven track record of being successful prior in my life, that's a different 40K than like my career makes 40K and I can only anticipate it going up. Even if it doubled, is still kind of difficult to live off of 80K as a couple with kids. And so I would say, see what his longer term ambitions are. How important is faith in your journey? Very important. It's getting increasingly more important. I think when you look back at the arc of when I reflect on the arc of my life, I recognize that God had his hand in all of it. And so faith in dating, faith in career, I move when God tells me to move, and I always move with the intention of being in service to people. I don't really care about Instagram or TikTok fame. I care about using the gifts that God gave me. Anwar, hi Anwar. Tell the girls. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, Anwar, you got me coaching the girls on dating. I could never take your place, though, Anwar, you know. Oh, Anwar, you got me coaching the girls on dating. I could never take your place, though, Anwar, you know. You know I could never take your place. Anwar, we got to do a joint live. It says invite him to join as a guest. I'm going to be on your line about doing a joint live if you're still in here. Best social groups to join in Nova, DC. I always say, I don't know DC that well. I really wish I did. I know the members only club, what is that called? HQ. I know, and I'm sure there's some social groups. I need to do some digging on DC. I don't spend a ton of time there. Oh, I love this. Any tips on getting out of your head and more into your body on being 100% authentic again? Ooh, that's such a great question. Getting out of your head and more into your body. First, learn how to do a body scan. Body scan is something that my therapist taught me that I will impart to y'all. It is when you are talking about something uncomfortable, notice how you show up. So when I talk about something uncomfortable, my throat tightens, my chest tightens, and I start rubbing my hands together. That helps inform me that I am uncomfortable. So when I'm on an interview, when I'm on a date, when I'm wherever, that also helps me get better insight into this might not be safe for me. Because sometimes we intellectually gaslight ourselves out of what is actually happening, and we move more towards what I want to happen versus what is actually happening. So learning how to read your own body's cues is really critical in getting into your body again. And create a dialogue with yourself. Like when you start feeling something, say like, what's happening here? Why is this triggering me? I can feel that my chest is tightening up and my throat is closing. What's going on with me? Why is this a trigger? Where is this coming from? And that will help you better understand what places, people, feelings that you're having. Anwar also taught me the feelings wheel, which is you can Google feelings wheel. And when you are upset, when you feel an emotion, name it. I think oftentimes we're like, how could you do that to me? Instead of saying, I'm feeling really betrayed. I'm feeling really hurt. I'm feeling very frustrated by you. So start leaning into your feelings wheel as well. Can you have two brands? Yeah, realtor and separate streetwear. Yeah, so many people have multiple brands. They have their professional life and their personal life. My Instagram is mostly just my personal life, but then I do all of my content on TikTok. Okay, let's see. Am I going to CultureCon? Potentially. I think so. Imani's one of my really good friends. It will be an amazing experience regardless. What are your thoughts on hypergamy? Hypergamy is that concept of like dating up, right? I don't know. I mean, yes, in theory, I think everyone should, I don't know, y'all. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I think oftentimes a lot of us are having conversations that also don't apply. Like everyone's talking about, I need to date a rich man. I need to date a rich man. I think some of us need to do an inventory of who's actually oftentimes choosing us. And if you were to look at the scale of all the folks who are in your DMs, it's not that. So maybe we need to focus on the people who are actually a fit for us and lean into that. I think there's a lot of discourse around rich, fine, upwardly mobile. You want a self-actualized man. You want a man with a plan and ambition and legacy minded and all of that. But I don't think your goal should be, I need to date someone who can change my social standing, because you will be led astray. I think you should just date someone who has a vision and future and intention, and who has a program that you can submit to. If he has a proven track record of success, that's who you need to get on board with. I don't think it always needs to be like, he needs to change my life and he bought me a Birkin bag and I don't deserve to date a poor man, whatever. Date someone who's self-actualized, and that's all I got on that. It does get better. Any affordable spaces to shop for, events, galas. Yes. You know what y'all need to start doing too, Arlie, is renting clothes. You can rent a lot of dresses, particularly if maybe you don't want to buy a dress. I think sometimes I have so many dresses and I'm like, oh, I already wore this. Rent it. You can rent from Rent the Runway. There's another really cool app I just heard about. I need to look at my messages and maybe I'll post it on something. But start looking into renting. Pickle, for girls who live in New York City, is another rental app for formal clothes, or like, it's a little bit more of like a birthday dinner dress clothes. But start renting some of your dresses so that, especially at a lot of these high visibility events, you might drop X amount of dollars on a dress and then you're like, I wore this once. So rent. Also, Revolve has like a relatively good selection. You can find dresses for $80 to $1,000. Also, ASOS has some cute stuff too, if you are looking for affordable. Okay, let me go back down. Nuuly is great. I do like Nuuly, but I find that Nuuly is more for like casual day-to-day renting. Proven track record of success. Yes, someone who's kind to you. Yeah, that goes without stating, but absolutely. Let me see. How to deal with how you deal with people copying your content. Oh, girl. Nothing makes me more than seeing a girly who, I said that bar for bar and you're going viral. I said that bar for bar. And how come you the one people? But what I choose to believe instead is that the universe is infinitely creative. You are infinitely creative. You will get other ideas and other inspirations that come. And you have, one, take note. Because sometimes they're doing it better than you. And I had to come to that recognition of like, yeah, I might be sick, but she actually said it better than me. Or yeah, that is actually what I said, but her lighting was better. That's why I bought this box light. Or yeah, what she said is exactly what I said. And yeah, she probably copied me. And sometimes I'll literally see people who have my same content and have double the followers that I do. What can I learn? What are they actually like? Get out of it. It's ego hurt. But get out of it quick and learn quicker, because if you're the one who's coming up with the ideas, you're connected to the source that actually is giving you the information that you need. So you can make another video, you can make another piece of content because you're connected to the creativity that gave it to you in the first place. They're the duplicate, but you also need to learn what they're doing better than you and copy. If they have a better setup, if they set it, even like the demure cutesy Jules LeBron. Apparently she wasn't the first person to say it, but she was the person who let it pop off. So it's not always who does it first, it's who does it best. And then recognize that like this is a learning opportunity. What's for you can never miss your hands. I think sometimes we get so caught up in like, oh, that was missed. That was no such thing as missed. It's learning, it's opportunity, it's growth, it's an opportunity to flip a bag and do it better the next time. But what is meant for your hands quite literally can never slip through your hands. So tighten up and get inspired and get back in the lab. Okay, but the guy that checks for me always makes 50K or less. Tamara, baby girl, there might be something. There might be something there for you to explore. It might be where you're living, where you're going out. It might be what you're giving, and it just might be the quality. But we gotta assess why that's the person that you're dating. Is it how you're showing up? Is it where you're going? Is it how you're engaging? Maybe you're super intimidating and only those with audacity check for you, whatever it is. But you gotta do an inventory on why that might be it. Jody, I DM'd you about a dream career pivot. Oh, nice. I love this. How are you choosing women for your cohort group? I shared this earlier when this live first started. It's so small, y'all. It's so small. You will have an opportunity to get in the next cohort, which will be the more advanced. This is the beta focus group testing. They're going to be giving me feedback cohort. So I need people who are going to give me feedback, potentially people who even live in New York City. I'm not committed to New York City, but who can even maybe do in person. Like, I need a very, very, very small specific group of women. Do not be offended if you're not in it. You will be invited to the bigger, better, more iterative version of this. I found my personal style. Any tips on how to build my wardrobe? Build a capsule collection. Start with the critical pieces that you need in a wardrobe. Jeans, trousers, dress, dinner dress, interview dress, gala dress, a blazer, and some accessories, and build from there. You always want to build in simple colorways and then have like one or two exciting pieces in your wardrobe, but don't just buy a bunch of stuff. Build strategic pieces that you can mix and match and rewear that also align to your personal style. Love all the advice. Oh, thank you. Is it too masculine for me to text this guy I met at a wedding, but I playfully turned down a dance? Y'all, I'm gonna tell you this, please. Get an Anwar. I don't want to be pegged as a dating coach. I mean, obviously, I will help you girlies because I love y'all. But, okay. Let me talk about this, and then I will always refer back to Anwar, my fairy godbrother. Did he text you first? So you're gonna text him. How did you guys even get each other's phone numbers? You playfully turned down a dance. So then, once you turned down the dance, then what happened? Did you walk away? Did you guys still exchange phone numbers? What happened? Mom social groups. I'm not a mother, but I heard Mocha Moms is really popular. If there are any other mom social groups, please let me know. But a very nice way to answer that 40K question. I'm never going to shade someone for the amount of money that they make. I'm not an elitist, but you also have to realize what's going to work for you. It might not work for you. 40K in this economy. I agree. It's hard. You want someone who's self-actualized. But if there's a reason why, but 40K is tough, baby. I don't even know how you can. Never mind. Guy ghosted you. You kind of like him and he has a lot of impact. Help. I'm sorry, baby. That sucks. What I would say, well, there's nothing you can do. He ghosted you. I don't know what impact means, but I think we need to identify why you care about being ghosted. That's like the actual crux of it. You should have the ick by someone who ghosted you. That man will not be able to provide. It's true. Look, I'm not saying to get with a man who makes 40K, but understand the rationale behind the 40K. If he was a resident in medical school, y'all wouldn't be saying all this. If he was an entrepreneur and he graduated from Yale School of Management and he was on his first year of business, y'all wouldn't be saying all this. So just make sure you understand. But if he's like, yo, this is all the money I'm ever gonna make and I never wanna make anything else, and like he has no proven track record of success, no. But you never know why he only might be making 40K. You never know. And if he has a plan to make more and you believe that he has the tools and the skills to make it happen, I still probably wouldn't do it if I'm being honest with you, because I don't even know what y'all are about to do. Y'all can't even go on dates, but I don't know. He gotta go. Why y'all dragging 40K? But no, I probably wouldn't do it. But you don't know. Also, what if she makes 50K? You never know. Not a picture friend. It's a no. Choosing friends out of an aesthetic is a recipe for sadness. That's why a lot of the girls are sad. And also why a lot of the girls are so contingent upon wanting to be with a man, is because they're looking to fill that void of sadness because they don't have any friends or hobbies. Referrals got me a job with the state. Network. Do you have a Coach bag? I don't. But I'm not opposed to it. The Tabby bag is cute. Tips to being authentically confident. You know what? They spoke about this in church today on how to be authentically confident. I think authentic confidence comes from living a life of truth. I think it's hard. I think self-trust is the crux of being confident. If you make promises to yourself, like, I swear I'm going to start this business. I swear I'm about to go back to school. I swear I'm going to get a 10K raise, whatever. And you consistently fail to see those promises through, you will not be confident because you don't have self-trust. Self-confidence comes from knowing who you are, knowing your authentic code, living in your authentic code and your authentic values, and making promises and seeing them through. That allows you to know, I can trust myself. I don't care if everyone else turns on me. I don't care. I know that I can rely and depend on myself. So that is my tip. You trying to battle? Battle what? How is the maintenance on your pixies? Girl, so easy. I mean, what I was dealing with before, I couldn't do it. I wake up and shake and go. Wait, what did I miss you trying to battle? Them battles is annoying. What battle? Y'all be kikiing without me and I missed it. That was such... Honestly, what she's saying is that the wealth shouldn't be the only thing. Ask yourself if this person can support you through losing your parents. Of course, he should be a good person and love you. That's expected. Yes, you have to like the person. I had a friend, rich partner, but he's busy and absent. That's the thing. I think a lot of y'all are getting your insights from the internet. If y'all know people who really date rich men, it ain't it. Once again, I'm not saying this to quell your dreams. I'm saying don't make that the only thing. You don't know how many horror stories I've heard. It's difficult to not be in a financially abusive situation if he holds 110% of the income. It is very difficult. Secondly, the optionality, the cost, everything has a cost. Everything has a cost. You have to make sure. And if you can stand up to the cost, if you're like, look, I'm fine with him being absent. I'm fine with him working so hard. I'm fine with potentially him feeling like he can exercise more options. I'm fine with, if we were to get divorced, I might be destitute, and understanding the dynamic that comes with that. I think it has just been so glamorized to date rich. There is a whole underbelly of it. And I'm just like, oh, I wish you girls knew. And I will never cap for my girls to date someone who cannot financially provide for them. But you want someone who's doing it in a safe, ethical way, who's built it, who understands it, who's still a good person and who has good character in the midst of that. Just don't let money be the only thing that's driving you, girls. That's all I'm saying. I think Black women should prioritize dating richer in the US if they want marriage. Once again, this richer concept is so... Money comes and goes, y'all. I have had so many mentors whose husbands were caught up in the 2008 financial crisis, gone, living off her income now. Thank God they also were doing really well. But does he have the character and the wherewithal and the skills and the tools to build it back? It was gone. They were living off of her income. And that has happened for many people, many girls. He gets traded, dating NFL players, personal experience, dated NFL players, and on disability, I'm making more money than them. Like, money is such a fleeting thing. Does he have the ability to build it back? Does he have the character, the intellect, the skills? Come on, y'all. Okay, let's see. And I've been thinking about that. So many gorgeous ladies on your live. Hi, beautiful girls. They don't care character. Yes, that's it. Care about the character and their skill set. Is he hungry? Is he ambitious? Is he a go-getter? Is he a hustler? Is he going to flip a bag when you need him to? Okay, let me go down to the bottom. Thank you. My pastor once said, you should see your man in all capacities, up and down. Exactly. See him in all the seasons. See him how he reacts when you get a promotion, when he doesn't get that promotion. See how he acts when you have a horrible day, when your business is booming. That's what we really need to focus on. Money is fun, but if you have your own money, they get turned off with the stuff that they do. Look, men are very fragile. Y'all don't have to understand that. Men are very, very, very fragile beings. Most men are used to being in partnership with women that they have leverage over. My personal experience. If they don't have leverage over you, it's very easy for them to resent you, that was more so what I'm getting at. I think it's very easy to be like, don't date a man who makes 40K. Sure, but the real issue is he no longer has leverage. Most men feel most comfortable and safe, unhealed, low-functioning men. In my words of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, low-functioning men only feel safe in a relationship when they feel like they have more optionality and more leverage than you. So yeah, if you make more money, it's gonna be a problem. I want a blue collar man. Okay, go ahead, girl. Look, blue collar men be making more than some of y'all financial analysts out here. Trash men make, I think, $150,000. I'm not saying that's the path for me or it has to be the path for you, but look, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. Once again, I'm not saying that's for me, but a lot of ways, yes, dating a rich man is not as glamorous. You will be property. And there are a lot of good rich men out there. I'm not holistically saying like, throw out the idea, date a brokey. No, not saying that either. Just know the true, I think all of my information is just knowing the true backstory of all of it. He's not everything, but an add-on to a full, would you recommend face filler? I think face filler is out. Personally, exomes, PRP, PRF, I think that's in. Oh, I love this. Find hobbies, yeah, decenter the men. I also think the more you glow up in life, the better your dating options are. I don't really think about men, honestly. That's why I don't really do any dating content. I like kiki with y'all on here on it, but I don't center men in dating because they will come. Once you start looking good, once you start making that money, once you start living in your purpose and glowing internally within, your options will become better. So focus on you and they'll focus on you too. Do I gua sha? I know what you meant, gua sha. I occasionally, I don't always, if I'm being honest with you, I probably could be better at it. Job ideas for 21-year-olds, no college, to surround myself with high quality people. You need to develop, what are your skills? What are your skills? Your focus, your focus should not be high quality people. Your focus should be getting a job that allows you to excel, that allows you to be within your zone of genius, and is in an industry and a career path that you're excited about. Because once you get into these spaces with high quality people and they start asking, so what do you do? And you're like, you want to be able, like, you might get into the room, but will you thrive in that room if you don't have a career or skills or a business that you're passionate about? Probably not. Video of side hustle ideas for us. I don't have a ton of side hustle ideas. My main side hustle ideas are zone of genius, something that you can automate, something that you can scale, something that's easy, consulting, courses, something that you don't have to physically be present for. If your end goal is just making money. If you want to do a side hustle you're actually passionate about, that's different, but yeah. Many are fueled by beauty standards of thinness. I hate the game, but I realize that I love how attentively you go. Love you too, baby. Law Roach. Oh my God, I want to read that Law Roach book, Tiffany. I want to read it, but I haven't read it yet. What's the best place in New York City to socialize, meet people that share your ambitions? Members clubs, places that have hobbies, or places where you can enact your hobbies, like a running club, art. I love art collecting groups. There's one in New York called ISE-DA, book clubs, junior boards. Okay. Hi, Tiffany. I have noticed that whenever I lose weight, I want who I want. Oh, I think who I want wants me. When I gain weight, dating is hard. Men are superficial. So, yeah, I can see that. But also, like, I don't know. There are some men who will drink your bathwater, and sometimes you got to find the man who's going to do that. You're going to gain weight if you get pregnant. You're going to gain weight as you age. You now have to be thin for the rest of your life in order to have love from this person. It sounds like a losing strategy to me. Find someone who's obsessed with you. What I will say, the real tea is to, like, figure out the kind of person that you want to be with and do a real life assessment. Are they choosing people that look like you? If the answer is no, you can do what you want to be with and do a real life assessment. Are they choosing people that look like you? If the answer is no, you can do one of two things. You can either do what you need to do in order to look like the people that they're choosing, or you can choose a different type. But those are pretty much your only two options. Can you talk about social etiquette versus being authentic? Yes, but I also think, which is a good question, I also think, like, we really harp on social etiquette and, like, not being authentic, but, like, we're not authentic at work. We're not the same person with all of our friends. We're not the same person with our parents. Like, it is very difficult, particularly at school, at work. It's very difficult, particularly in institutionalized spaces, to show up as your full and 100% authentic self. So you have to view it that way. it is an institution. You should find places that align with your goals, that align with who you are, that align with your values and your passions. You should absolutely find places that you feel like you can show up most of the way as your authentic self. But the same way that I would not recommend coming into work with, you know, Daisy Duke biker shorts or whatever and a crop top is the same way that I would advise you to adhere to certain social regulations. It's all part of a larger game. Be your authentic self with your friends, with your family, in safe places. This is not always the place to be 100%, be authentic, but you can't 100% show up as your raw and uncut and unfiltered self. But an easy way to get past that is, once again, find places that, if you're really passionate about dance, join a dance junior board, and that will allow you to show up more authentically. Love your content. Where's the best place? Find it on YouTube. You can find it on TikTok. And click the link in bio. Click the link in bio and sign up for my newsletter. One is coming out tomorrow, and it's very good if I do say so myself. My newsletter has tips. It has homework for y'all every month. It has places that I'm going, things that I'm buying, books I'm reading, podcasts. The newsletter is bomb. So make sure you click the link in bio and sign up, and just input your email in my bio. Okay, I'm gonna do the last few questions. Jack of all trades, mastering one brand. Do you think it's a good investment? What are your hobbies? I'm looking to explore new ones. If I'm gonna be honest with you, right now I'm not a hobby girl. I am trying to really scale this business with TikTok. I work a full-time job in 4 days a week, and I'm a senior leader, so I really can't play around. I do volunteer with a group called I Mentor, a high school student, a young Black girl in the Bronx. And I used to do Spanish classes online via this website called Lingoda, which is really cool. If you're interested in taking a language class, it's essentially like a virtual classroom. I used to have professors from like Colombia, Venezuela, who would teach me. And then sometimes in the summer, walks or bike rides. But in this season of my life, I'm not a hobby girl. I work out. So I'll go boxing, I'll do dance classes, things like that. But a hobby that I do every single week between traveling for work, going to work, is difficult. Let's see. Okay, you said don't optimize for rich men, optimize for educated. Ro, I get your point, but I think optimize for, I would say, ambitious and smart, because some of these Yale and Harvard and Princeton and Stanford ain't doing that well themselves either. So I would say education is important, but also optimize for someone who knows how to flip a bag, who's a hustler, who's ambitious, who has a vision for their life. And as I always say, proven track record. Do not let him be the first time. Do not be in a position where he's proving his success for the first time with you. He should already have had a business that did well. He exited. He should already have become a manager, VP, director before he met you. And then you can kind of be a little bit more flexible. Mental fortitude to build the money back. Yes, exactly. That's the thing. Sometimes they get laid off and they're destitute. The ego is so fragile, they don't even know how to build it back. Okay. He's a billionaire. Okay, which billionaire are we talking about? Let me scroll up. I think I missed it. What billionaire were y'all ladies talking about? Oh, Diddy. Ciao. Okay. Work, travel, glamorize. Oh yeah, work, travel is not, it sounds really lit. It's not. You're in hotel rooms, you're eating hotel food. You can make it your own. I try and like work out or see the sights, or I'll have like a cultural immersion day every time I do a work trip. But it sounds very fun. You're exhausted. Okay. And then I'm gonna head off live, but I love you ladies. Don't forget to find this video on YouTube and also click the link in my bio, and you will be able to sign up for my newsletter where you can get consistent content every month, and then also the free ebook. Love you ladies. And I'm gonna try and do this every Sunday. I'm gonna try, y'all. But every Sunday, I go to church now, so it'll probably be in the afternoon. But I'll see you soon.